I'm Amy Rogan. I'm the managing director here at A Studio in the Woods. This is a place for artists of all disciplines and scholars to be in retreat in this wonderful natural environment and to be inspired to do new creative works. We're part of Tulane University. We were formed in 2001 and we began our program of artist residencies at that point. And then in 2004 we were fortunate enough to hire what we call an environmental curator, and that is David Baker. And David is a wonderful asset to our property in a number of ways. He is both restoring and taking care of our woods, he's researching our woods, and he's a guide to our woods and to regional ecology for all visitors. Anyone who comes to a studio, artists, students, scholars, all benefit from taking a walk in the woods with Dave.
Take a drive, holding hands.
Here we stand just 100 feet away from the Mississippi River levee at the gates of A Studio in the Woods, our hardwood bottomland forest. We'll proceed to go inside and check out the woods. Where we're standing is bottomland hardwood forest of Louisiana, adjacent to the Mississippi River. And one of the key critical points to be made is this was a sugarcane plantation, the Delacroix plantation, where they harvested sugar for over 100 years. They stopped harvesting probably around 1950, 1920. They let the land go fallow, and this forest was created. In 1968, Joe and Lucienne Carmichael bought this land and noticed that there were very few invasive species and the trees were much smaller in stature. And by the time I surveyed the land in 2001, it was completely invaded by Chinese privet. And by 2004, we began the project to remove and restore this bottomland hardwood forest. Okay, the project at A Studio in the Woods is a project based on a simple eradication of Chinese privet, ligustrum. And over the course of the last 12 years, I've been able to remove about 25,000 Chinese privet off the property. The key reasoning behind removal of Chinese privet is that the Chinese privet grow up about 12 feet tall in the understory and shade out the hardwood seedlings. And simply by going in and removing the Chinese privet, we allow the hardwood seedlings a chance to survive. So these forests are evolved with hurricanes, and so without Chinese privet being removed from the forest, what happens is that every hurricane event that happens, we lose a certain number of overstory trees which open up the canopy, which if the privet were not removed, or if the privet were present and the privet flourish, all the privet prevent the hardwood seedlings from germinating and reaching the canopy. So the key is to remove the Chinese privet and allow the hardwood seedlings a chance to take advantage of the hurricane. So we're going to go in the woods and check out what a healthy bottomland hardwood forest looks like. One of the important things for us and why we're actually doing this project is to create the model of which restoration in southeast Louisiana should be established on. I've measured trees my whole life, and I've been given the opportunity to restore 8-acre bottomland hardwood forest and produce the image which people need to see to know which direction to go on their own land. We are the only property in southeast Louisiana which is being managed regularly for invasive species. And our forest, following Hurricane Katrina, provided a place of tranquility and a place of recovery for most of our artists that came out here. And the metaphor of the forest being able to quickly rebound and recreate and establish a healthy life was very influential to many artists that we had in the time following Hurricane Katrina. Okay, here we are in the Bottomland Hardwood Forest at a studio in the woods in one of my 32 10 by 10 meter research plots. Early on in the project for Tulane, I was asked to collect some data. So all my research is, as a long-term ecologist, is mapping and measuring of trees on an annual basis. And so we stand in plot number 21, actually, 10 by 10 meter research plot. All the stems 2 centimeters and up were mapped and measured beginning in 2004. Hurricane Katrina hit in 2005, 1 year after the establishment of all the research plots. And so this plot is usually used as a teaching tool to explain some evolved traits of these forests. And this stem I have in my hand right here is a root shoot of a very large sweet gum, a liquidambar that fell in Hurricane Katrina and produced a giant canopy gap. One of the survival strategies for this species is sending up root shoots and putting out thousands and thousands of seeds. So what we've seen in this location specifically is that these root shoots appeared rather quickly within a year, and now 10 years later, only 1 out of the 21 stems that resprouted survived. So this is a clear educational site that we can follow trees throughout the course of their existence and look at their growth rates. Also, the privet, which is this guy here, is counted on a bi-yearly basis. Every 2 years I count the number of privets that are still in the research plots and compare their growth rates to the tagged and mapped trees.
Figure 1 shows the total basal area of trees studied. The y-axis represents the cubic meters and the x-axis is the year. Basal area is the volume of wood an individual species takes up in the forest. Annual diameter measurements allow us to track changes in biomass accumulation, providing information on growth rates during a forest restoration project. Hurricane Katrina hit August 2005 and killed 4% of the stems. We see the peak mortality long and short term in 2007. From 2007 to the present, we have seen significant growth rates with canopy closure in 2012.
Let's take a drive, holding hands. We'll see the world. I'll be your girl. Let's go for a ride in our Sunday best. If Monday comes